Hello, Raptors Nation. How was everybody? Great win. Great way to start the season. Like all of us, though, I bet you, I certainly wish that the Raptors could just get a lead and maintain it so we could coast through a fourth quarter for once instead of having to bite our nails and wonder every possession whether we're going to pull it out. But hey, they managed to. We're undefeated, heading towards an undefeated season for 2022-2023. Anyways, everybody, welcome to the channel. Slang666. Very excited to get this Raptor channels going. I've been meaning to do it the last couple of years. I'd moved. Not that you want too much information, but I'm just going to say that I was going to wait until I got some decor up and some of my sports memorabilia around before I started the channel last season. And as you can see, that didn't happen. So decided to just jump in and get this thing going. Anyway, would love to just go through the game. I may end up here on this channel talking about some fantasy basketball, certainly Raptors, Blue Jays. We're really a Toronto-based channel, mostly focused on Raptors, but Toronto Blue Jays and maybe even some Toronto Maple Leaf stuff. And heck, once in a while, who knows, Argos and Toronto FC might get a mention here and there, but Raptors is definitely the focus. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's kick off first game of the season. Raptors undefeated, headed towards an undefeated season, first place overall. I don't know, but I certainly think we have a shot to surprise, of course, a lot of analysts, especially south of the border, as we all have to deal with being Toronto Raptors fans. It's bad enough, all the refs are against us, but we've got the media against us too. But anyway, I think that unites us all, and that's what, creates a demand for content like this. I certainly know that when I'm watching the Raptors games, afterwards, especially a victory, but even when there's a loss, it's nice to be able to find somewhere online that you can, keep it going and maybe bask in the glory of a victory, and sadly wallow with somebody when there's been a defeat. And so, anyway, hopefully I can be here for you guys. This channel's just starting off, as you can tell, so I'm hoping to get to 10 subscribers eventually. So, anyway, if you can, obviously click subscribe, or even just a like would be great, or any comments or anything, really. I think I've got one subscriber, and I believe it's my son. My wife hasn't even subscribed to the channel yet, which is, anyway, I'm going to go pressure her to do that after this. All right, anyway, didn't come here to talk about my wife. Raptors. I want to start, though, talking about sort of the fanfare at the beginning. It's kind of an interesting way the Raptors came out. I didn't really get Van Vliet running around. I'm not sure I love the lightsaber the opening with the dance pack kind of holding the saber to the side where they're like back and forth and back and forth. I don't know. I felt like they should have maybe held them up and then let them walk through. It's kind of funny and strange to actually miss the Kyle Lowry days of the workout session and him going around and kind of activating the people as he came off the bench. I used to sometimes think that was a little bit overdone, but to be honest, with what ended up happening today there, I don't know. It was kind of boring today. Anyway, I kind of miss the fun of Kyle leading that crew. And then even in the huddle, I wish they would mic some of that stuff up. I mean, it would be so great to see behind the scenes. I'm hoping that Fred VanVleet, I was imagining Fred VanVleet is in that huddle saying, "We're going to surprise everybody this season, guys. Let's take this and win a championship." Certainly a lot of positive stuff is going to have to come together for that. I certainly believe the Raptors have a chance to be third. Pardon me. I'm feeling like fourth makes a lot of sense. It certainly looks in the East. I know everyone's saying it's more stacked. I mean, even heck, we got Donovan Mitchell now in this division. And then there's been a lot of other movement. Can Brooklyn pull it together with all of their drama going on? I'm never going to be a believer in the 76ers. All I think about is Joel Embiid, crying hugging Marc Gasol back in 2019, and until they prove something that they can get it together. I can't believe in them. Although Tyrese Maxey does seem a little bit scary in some of the preseason games, like he can pull it all together. He certainly hammered us in a couple games in the first round last season. Um, but I mean, beyond those two, is Miami for real? I don't know. They losing Tucker doesn't help them. Hero's moving up, it seems, maybe to become a starter. If he can have an outstanding season, and maybe Kyle Lowry, the aforementioned Kyle Lowry, can pull himself into shape and actually contribute, they could be doing something this season. Um, but really, like I said, I think Raptors have a strong chance to end up fourth. I don't think that the moves that Atlanta made. I mean, again, obviously we're gonna have to watch the season, but that they're gonna be able to move up far enough. Obviously, oh, sorry, I'm forgetting Boston though. So yeah, I think Boston uh, and the Bucks could certainly be in there, one or two. I mean, Middleton's out, so who knows when he's going to come back. And I think that if teams actually focused on Giannis to shut him down like the Raptors did, that team can be certainly stopped. But if you've got Celtics probably going to be number one. Maybe their coaching situation falls apart, but they had a decent enough offseason. They seem to be bringing their point guard that they acquired off the bench, and his name's escaping me as I go to say it. But yeah, them Celtics number one. I don't know. I don't think that I'm not a Kyrie Irving believer, and so I don't see them as a number two. I think that maybe the Bucks number two and the Raptors number three would be fantastic, but it is possible that the 76ers can pull it together, especially if Maxey it can do what he is capable of. And I heard someone talking about them maybe making a trade at the deadline, especially with the tanking season that's going to go on. Um, for Victor Wabanyama, whatever. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, but teams are going to be giving up some pretty solid players in order to get into the lottery. So you could see Tobias Harris maybe getting traded for somebody and helping them sort of finish out the year. But anyway, back to the game today. Yeah, Raptors played great. Seemed all around scoring. Some of the typical Raptor problems coming to a head. We saw Pascal Siakam. I mean, I love Pascal Siakam. I fell in love with Pascal Siakam when he was on the Fan 590 in studio with Bob McCowan. I don't even know how many years ago that was. 3, 4 years ago. Him and Jakob Pertl were in there, and yeah, the guy's awesome. Personality's great, and certainly trying to improve every year. And nice to see him healthy at the beginning of the year for a full season. Hopefully, I'd love to see him make that top five. In the NBA, there's a lot of people out there saying he isn't capable. And I certainly believe he is, but he's got to stop ramming into the defense and running into traffic out of control, and even making the game scary today with his fouling out and not being able to complete the game. He's got to get that stuff under control. And OG, I don't know what OG was doing at the beginning of this game, man. He was running around frantic. He did change his hair up. I'm actually, funny enough, I'm in the hair business as my, my real life, and so couldn't help but notice some of the Raptors hairstyle changes. So I'm planning to comment on Raptors hairstyles here as well as they change it up. In fact, maybe I'll jump into that quickly and then we can jump back into the game. But OG, I thought his hair, I don't love when he's got, the tight braids, or I don't know if that's quite the cornrows, but I like when he does sort of the not quite perfectly combed out. It's a little bit sort of rough on the top. I think it makes him look sort of more menacing, and it makes him even taller. Similar to what Scotty Barnes is kind of doing, but Scotty today too was a little bit extra fluffy. It was like he combed it out a little bit higher than normal. I like when he's got it a little packed, a bit more dense up top, and I don't know where he's shaving on the sides and on the top. It seems to be moving back further and further every time I see him. So But anyway, I thought he was still looking good. I liked Precious Achua's. He sort of had the braids going. He had that sort of four bigger braids and tucked underneath the headband at the back. And Gary Trent even with his dreads. He sort of shortened the dreads this year, but he still got them held down by the headband. And I sort of like that when they keep the hair under control. I certainly noticed that Garland, his hair was just all over the place, and as he's running and bobbing for the ball, it's just swishing back and forth. I actually think he possibly got poked in the eye there, because he couldn't see the finger coming at him. He turns his head and his hair is flashing in his face, and he doesn't see that Gary Trent's coming to try and steal the ball, and ended up poking him in the eye, and he was out for the game, which obviously could have affected the outcome of this game. Us Raptor fans were certainly used to benefiting, let's say, from opponents getting injured and having to be taken out of the game. Not that I'm saying I necessarily cheered when Durant went down, but okay, actually, I think I might have initially, but certainly I wasn't happy that he was potentially injured, but he came into that game and was just on fire. Uh, so anyway, it was nice to have him exit that one. I'm not saying we couldn't have won anyways, but it would have been a lot more difficult. That's for sure. Sorry. So yeah, Garland's hair was a little bit too much in his face. I'd have to give him sort of a C minus. He's got to at least shorten it so that it's not hanging down in his eyes. I will give props though to Allen though. Allen's hair is sort of exactly what I feel, OG and some of our guys are missing. I think Pascal's is good. He's got the headband going and he kind of has it, puffed up around the headband. But Allen's menacing. Yeah, he's already a big guy at whatever he is, 7'2", 7'3". But I love the extra height. It's just intimidating there at the rim. Um, Anyway, and it's funny, even was it Osman? He had his hair flapping all over the place, but actually he was killing us with threes at the beginning of the game, and then even a couple layups there towards the end. But yeah, his hair was maybe a little bit too wisping in front of him too, which maybe that's what helped us though, because he did miss a couple at the end there, and again didn't see Fred VanVleet when Fred stepped out to get into his path to cause that offensive foul there. Anyway, it's fantastic. So yeah, as far as the game goes, I did make some notes. Certainly wanted to comment that having Jack Armstrong as the announcer on the opening game is certainly a plus. I mean, I'm enough of a Raptors fan. I've been around since day one. I was actually at the very first Raptors game, and maybe one of these days on the channel here, I'll do a little brag with some of my tickets stubs that I've got from back in the day. Was fortunate enough even to see the Raptors beat Jordan and the Bulls in that first season with Damon Stoudemire going crazy at the Sky Dome back then. But anyway, nice to have Jack Armstrong, just get that garbage out of here, and some of his other calls. It's a little smoother, the back and forth repertoire with him and Matt Devlin, rather than when Alvin's on there. Alvin's sort of sometimes, I know he's learning and he's getting better. He's been even way better in the first few preseason games this season than last year. But anyway, nice to have Jack Armstrong. I miss that we didn't get to see Otto Porter Jr. in the game. Looking forward to him coming back in future games. Actually, one other comment too about OG is funny. Not only did he have the tightened hair, but when they came out at the very beginning, he had one leg unzipped. And anyway, I swear that was done on purpose. OG, we all know he's such a fashionista out there. And anyway, I thought it was hilarious because everyone else had the proper, warm-up pants and everything the way they should be. And OG's coming out with his one leg unzipped and trying to bust out some little extra style. Certainly loved the ability of the Raptors to disrupt Cleveland. It's funny, obviously, there's been a lot of talk of all the 6'9", 6'8", guys out there, other than Fred, of course. being active in the lanes, and it was clear tonight for sure that they were causing problems for the Cavaliers. Uh, you know, tons of passes blocked, lots of deflections to out of bounds, and them having to restart their offense, and then a ton of turnovers. Although there were turnovers both ways, Raptors certainly had some issues dribbling. We would be flying in there, trying to drive into the paint, and then man, they would just clog it up. And I don't know, there was a lot of offensive fouls, a lot of problems that way from the Raptors dribbling. And actually, it was scary. Even it's funny. I was worried that this would be the turning point in a bad way. Raptors kind of came back there. I think it was towards the half, and OG went to try to just dunk it, and man, he got stuffed by Allen. That was crazy because he had a tough start, OG, and then finally he kind of got going, and they kicked it out to him. Um, at the 3 point baseline, and he did a nice move to just sort of power in, but man, got met at the rim and stuffed. Not good, not good. But luckily, Raptors were able to turn it around. Yeah, don't love the Pascal ISO. There's a little bit too much ISO in the first half. Again, they seem to fix that. Got the ball moving in the second half, which was fantastic. Free throws were a major problem for the Raptors. We missed way too many free throws. I do have the box score up here, but again, you guys can all look up the box score. We don't need to reference that, but yeah, I mean, at one point they missed 8 free throws, and I think that we were only down by 6, or maybe we were down by 5. So anyway, the difference, would have had us at a 3 point lead. Sad to see that happening. Gary Trent Jr. though, played amazing. I love him. I really think that Gary Trent Jr. has potential to be a superstar. I don't think we play him enough. I mean, he can create his own shots. He can get out into the open. There's one in particular play where Gary Trent Jr. got the rebound. I think it was Precious Achua made the shot, but Gary got the rebound, and then he kicked it out to Scotty Barnes, and Scotty Barnes, drove to the net like he was going to do a layup or whatever, but then he swung it around to OG in the corner, and OG hit the three, and yeah, man, that was just fantastic basketball. That's what we, as Raptor fans, I think are most excited about and looking forward to seeing this season, as the Raptors get going. It's going to be fantastic. But yeah, the Raptors got it turned around. We had a decent third quarter. We were able to chip away, stay close, and yeah, the fourth quarter was crazy. Particularly the play where Fred Van Vliet ripped the ball out of Allen's hands. That was just unbelievable. Led to a fast break, and Raptors ended up pretty much not looking back from that point on. Awesome plays down the. I mean, again, scary. Like Scotty Barnes, I know he's just hyped and excited to get out there. See what he can do for his second season following up Rookie of the Year. But when he goes driving into the lane and charging, the defensive players, that again, just Raptors basketball, I guess. They want to keep us on our toes and keep us wondering, are they actually going to be able to pull it out? But yeah, they did. And so anyway, yeah, fantastic game. I mean, you got Pascal Siakam, 23 points, fantastic. OG with 18. He certainly could have had more had he hit any of his shots early. But Gary Trent, 19. So hopefully these guys keep it up. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in double digits, which is great. And I guess maybe just quickly before I go, I mean, I love Delano Banton. I'm a Toronto guy, born and raised, so great to see a local guy. The way he worked, it seemed, in the off season and his summer league and some of the exhibition games, man, he just came in and took that spot. I know I watched some of the other Raptors channels, and there was some speculation whether or not maybe he would be one of the people that got cut if DJ or or one of these other guys, was able to take his spot. But yeah, I'm glad to see he took it and he seemed to get some minutes in this game. Actually hit his free throws, which was nice. But Christian Coloco, another exciting player, cleaned up one of the misses because again Pascal sometimes just gets a little too hyped in there, and he got in too deep and had to bounce it off the backboard. But Coloco was there to clean it up, and man, when Coloco was able to change the shot by Donovan Mitchell again, I think that was another turning point because Mitchell definitely seemed to get frustrated. But so yeah, great to see that too. We haven't really had that kind of position. I mean, Pirtle I think was close to being 7 foot if he wasn't 7 foot, and Jonas was pretty solid as well. But it's been a few years, since I guess obviously Gasol was in there. But yeah, nice to have a 7 footer in, and I really think Coloco's gonna do well. So anyway, I think that just about wraps it up. Again, thank you for coming. These videos, I'm going to try and do one after every game. I wanted to do some highlight commentary, but I'm not sure that that's even allowed anymore. Some of the people that I used to watch that did highlight videos seem to have disappeared. So I don't know. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if anybody actually watches this video. Thank you very much for sticking around this long. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully we'll start to figure out the format and it'll be a little more sort of regimented as we go forward and do these videos. But I look forward to growing and producing better content so that we can, as Raptor fans, just have somewhere to go and talk and even be constructively critical when there's a loss. But as I said, we might be headed to an undefeated season the first time ever. That'd be fantastic if we could make something like that happen. But definitely playoff bound. Definitely going to do well in the playoffs. I hope we can get it together by then. But I think we've seen enough of an improvement on the guys and having the same team come back, except for Otto Porter and Coloco. But those are going to be two sweet additions, I think, to the last year's mix that are going to help us, hopefully get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. So anyway, thanks guys, really appreciate it, and have a beautiful day.